Okay, morning. Good morning. So I thought I was preempting the lockdown. I saw that Scotland, morning. I saw that Scotland went into lockdown and I thought, it's going to happen here. So kind of preempting that yesterday and thought we would do a little 20-minute session this morning just to get our bodies moving. Because if I've learned something over the last few months, it's that your body keeps the score. And all of that stuff that's going on in here will be in your body. So changing your state by moving your body will help your tensions and your worries and your stresses and all that stuff come out slightly, rather than thinking that it will all come out through, you have to let your energy and your release happen through movement. Okay, so even if Joe Wicks is coming back on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9 o'clock from Monday, we've never been away, have we? We're still going. Morning, my lovelies. Hi, Donna. Hi, Nikki. And hello to my mum as well. So, lie down on your front. Come and lie down on your front and rest your forehead on your hands when you get there. I'm going to sit here and talk for a moment while you do that, because if I lie on my front, you don't hear me very well. Yeah, so this is going to become a regular thing now during lockdown, which is probably going to be for the rest of January, going into February. Tuesday mornings, 20 minutes, we will do Pilates, and we will do it at 8:30, because I quite like that time, 8:30 on a Tuesday, yes. So lie down on your front, rest your forehead on your hands and breathe into your belly. Breathe into your belly. So when you breathe in, your belly notices the floor. Imagine that I'm in that amazing room with you and my hand is on your lower back. So when you breathe into your belly, your lower back reaches up towards the ceiling, towards my hand, because we hold a lot of tension in our gut. If you have IBS or know anybody who has gut issues, has trouble digesting their foods, it can come from holding tension and worry and fear and anxiety and all that stuff in their gut. And that can affect the fascia around your gut, which tightens it, and it kind of moves your gut slightly, moves your stomach into a different area. Not a huge amount, but just a little bit off kilter. And that can affect a lot of things. So just noticing how you're breathing, where you're breathing. And you are in control of your breath. And notice that your breath changes when things around you change. So slow it down. Can you take a longer exhalation as you lie there on your front with your forehead on your hands? Can your out breath be a little bit longer than your in breath? And that takes your mind into the prefrontal cortex, which is in the front of your brain. It's the human part of your brain, the more modern part of your brain, that helps you think better, have more clarity, so you can see through the fog a little bit better. So you're not stuck in the amygdala, which is your fight, flight or freeze, the older part of your brain. So when you're anxious and worried, you get stuck in the amygdala. It's tiny, it's like a little shape, like a little almond in the middle of your brain. So slowing your breath down, allowing that longer exhalation, takes you out of that worry, the fight, flight or freeze, and takes you more into the prefrontal cortex, where you can think more clearly, make better decisions, and see the wood for the trees. But it's not always easy. It takes a while for you to get your head around that and to notice, being aware of your out breath, and being aware as you rest there on your front, being aware of your belly, the contact with the floor, and also be aware of your feet. Can you notice the front of your feet being in contact with the mat? Very important to have an awareness of the environment so you don't get lost inside your head. So you have this attention, a focus. Morning, Linda. If you're joining me, we're lying on our front. Lying on your front, resting your forehead on your hands and resting there and breathing into your belly. Yeah. So if you want to stay for the next 20 minutes, just start lying on your front. So notice your out breath being longer, and it only has to be like a second longer. And if you want to count, you can say you're breathing in for 1 or 2 counts and breathing out for 3 or 4 counts. It doesn't have to be a huge number. You can train yourself for it to be longer, but let's just start today with the little numbers. And notice in your body where you're holding tension or where you feel tight or where you feel tension. So where in your body can you do less? Where in your body can you let go of a little bit more? So awareness of the environment, awareness of the floor that you're contacting, and awareness of your breathing. Slowing down, noticing. And it is like a meditation, I suppose you could call it like that, but let's just be mindfulness as well, just noticing. Taking you out of that worry part of your brain and putting you more into the rest and digest part of your brain, when your muscles will work better, your joints will work better, your body responds better, you will digest your food better, and you'll be able to see the challenges for what they are. You can't control them. You can just notice your response to them. You can complain as much as you like, but then you have to find a solution. You can't complain forever. You notice where it is you need to go, what it is you need to do, and how you react, how you respond, what you say, and your actions. So as you lie there on the floor, breathing into your belly, before you end up falling asleep, because it's quite a nice position to be in, and just bring the attention to your chest bone, your sternum, where all your ribs meet. And can you just allow your chest bone to just slightly lift off the floor and then come back down to the floor? It's not a huge movement. So if you're doing this movement and tensing your jaw or holding your breath or tightening your shoulders, then make the movement smaller. So if I was in the room with you, it's as if I was going to put a piece of paper underneath your sternum, underneath your chest bone, because you're lying on your front, so you don't have to lift your head. Your head stays on your hands. It's just a feeling of how can you lift your sternum? How could you allow that to lift off the floor a little bit? And it might feel as if your shoulder blades might have to move away from your spine to create space, as if your shoulder blades were doors and they were coming away from your spine and your sternum had to lift up between them. And then your shoulder blades closed and your sternum dropped back down to the floor. And you'll notice in awareness of that movement, how you breathe when you move like that. Does it feel better to breathe in when you do that or breathe out when you do that? And you can try both. Try breathing in as you lift your sternum, or try breathing out as you lift your sternum. Which feels like you're having more mood, which feels better, which feels that you have less tension and you're using less effort. Which is nice. Less effort, more awareness. Okay. And so in a way you're noticing, or you're asking your brain to notice the connection between the front of your body and the back of the body. And when we get a little bit anxious and worried and upset about stuff and things that we can't control, we get very tight in the front of the body, the shoulders round, the diaphragm tightens up, the chest tightens up. So the sternum tends to sink and it gets very tight. So this little movement of just feeling that you can lift the chest bone noticing how you can let go of the chest bone as you bring it back down to the floor. Kind of allow that lengthening of your chest bone, the lengthening of your collarbone, and the lengthening of your ribs, and the opening up of your lungs. And then rest it. And bring the attention now to your glutes. Can you squeeze your right glute and then let it go? And then squeeze your left glute and then let it go. And then squeeze your right glute and let it go. And your left glute and let it go. And do a couple more of those on each side. So just gently squeezing and letting it go. And squeezing and letting it go. So you have that awareness. If one glute feels easier to connect to than the other, it's not often that they both feel the same. And it's okay to have one glute that feels tighter or stronger. You know, over the course of your life, you've probably fallen at some point on your bum and might not even remember it. Or you've had an issue with one of your hips, or you've had an issue with one of your feet, and that will just affect your glute. Or you sit at the computer quite a lot at the moment, and that will affect your glutes. Or you've had a lifetime of sitting at a computer, or if you've been a secretary like my mum, and she sat at a typewriter most of her life, I know, your glutes won't be very receptive. And then squeeze them both together. Can you squeeze them both together and let them go? Squeeze them both together, let them go. Do 4 more. Notice it moves your pelvis. When you squeeze your glutes, what happens at the front of your pelvis? And then let them go. Lovely. And then come into the swan dive position. So you're going to stay lying on your front, bending your elbows. So your elbows are bent, hands are on the floor. Breathing in as you push the floor away and breathing out as you come back down to the floor. So it's up to you how far up you go. You can either stay on your elbows or you can lengthen the arms. So come back to, as you lift and lower in your swan dive, can you notice what's happening to your breastbone, to your sternum? How much of your sternum comes off the floor? Do you feel you could lift the whole of the sternum off the floor so all of your ribs come off, or is it just going to be half of the sternum? And can you do this with less effort so your neck doesn't feel like it's trying to pull you up, your head comes up lifting quite lightly and gradually with you, so you don't feel that you're leaving the weight of the head behind you? Are your feet equal? Can you notice the front of your hips feeling equal? Can you notice you're pushing the floor away with both hands equally? Are your fingers long? Are your thumbs long? Do you feel equal weight along the palms, across the palms? So you're not rolling one hand in more than the other. It's a bit like when you're doing the shoulder bridge and your feet want to be equal. Can you keep your hands equal? Your hands are very important as to how your back's going to respond, how your spine's going to respond, and how your neck responds. And then come back down, rest your forehead back on your hands. And come back, notice your legs. Just notice your legs. You're staying on your front, you're lying on your front. Can you notice your legs? Come back to noticing your feet. Can you lift one leg and then bring it down and then change legs? Lift one leg, bring it down. Does it feel nicer to breathe in to lift a leg and breathe out to bring it down? Or does it feel nicer to breathe out to lift one leg and breathe in as you come back down? There's no right or wrong. It's what feels right for you. And where in your body can you notice if there's too much effort? Can you have less effort? Less effort in your face, in your jaw, in your shoulders. So you feel that the leg isn't just lifting up towards the ceiling, but it's also lengthening towards the wall behind you. So if I was in the room with you and I was at your feet, I'd be kind of gently encourage your leg to lengthen away from your hip as you lift. So you don't feel you have to compress or feel tightness in your hips. It's another area where we can hold tension and worry in our hips. Without even noticing, we can hold tension around the pelvis. So do one more on each side. And then allow both legs to lift at the same time. But lift, when I say lift, it's not feeling that you must go higher. It can be just half a centimetre off the floor, as if I'm going to put a piece of paper underneath the front of your feet. And breathe in if you feel that you can when you lift, and breathe out as you come down. Or does it feel nicer to breathe out as you lift? Can you allow the front of your pelvis to stay on the floor as you do that? Can you notice your shoulders relaxing as you do that? Or are they trying to help you? And then let your legs relax and bring them together. Bring the legs together. Lovely. And bend your right knee and do 3 kicks with your heel towards your right glute. And then let your leg come back down to the floor and change legs. 3 kicks, heel towards your glute, and then let it come back down to the floor. So you're alternating the legs one at a time without the pelvis moving. It's as if I said to your pelvis, do you realise that your legs are moving? And your pelvis will be like, no. Your pelvis will think that your legs are being still. Your pelvis has no idea what's going on, so it stays nice and still and quiet as you alternate the kicking of the legs. 3 kicks and the leg goes back to the floor. So it encourages more of a connection with the leg muscles. And when we have this fight, flight or freeze, we're worried about things, we feel like we want to run away from our problems and everything that's going on, our legs get very tense and very tight. So using work with the legs, kicking them, imagining that you're running or something like that with them, or going for a run or going for a walk will help release tension out of your legs, which is why going for a walk or going for a little run is very good to release that energy, that pent up feeling that we get up in our hips, that feeling that we want to run away. So then relax your legs and bend both of your knees. Can you bring your legs together and bend both of your knees? So your feet are touching, your knees are touching. Can you let both legs go over to one side and then come back to the middle and go to the other side and come back to the middle? So you're like a pendulum underneath a big old clock, an old grandfather clock with a pendulum swaying at the bottom of the clock. Can you be like that? Can you have that same rhythm? And can you keep it as smooth and as slow and as steady as that rhythm as well? So you don't need any help from your jaw. You don't need to hold your breath. You just allow that swaying movement. It's quite nice, and you allow your pelvis to move. You might notice that your hip starts to lift, which is okay. You can allow your pelvis to move if it feels okay. That's it. That's nice. It's a nice movement swaying from side to side like that. I like it. I like it. And then come back and rest your legs down. So your head is resting on your hands. So can you turn your head to the right? So you're looking towards your right elbow. Can you have your right hand underneath your cheek, underneath your left cheek? And can you just allow your right elbow to lift and lower? Not your head, not your hand, just your elbow. Right elbow lifts, right elbow lowers. As if I'm going to put something underneath your elbow. Can you notice what your shoulder blade does as you do that? And now add the head and the hand. So the whole thing comes up as one and then comes down. And notice that the movement begins. If you move slowly and smoothly enough, you'll notice your movement begins in your shoulder blade, by the shoulder blade dropping back to your spine. That's where it begins. It's not in your jaw. It's not by screwing up your eyes. It's not by tensing your toes or your hands. And it's not by holding your breath. And then rest. Turn the head to the other side. Look towards your left elbow. And just let the left elbow lift and lower. Just the elbow. As if you're putting a piece of paper underneath it. That's it. Notice your left shoulder blade moving now. And is there a difference to the right side? Sometimes we have more awareness of one side than the other. And then start to lift the whole thing. So the hand comes up with you, the head comes up with you, as if you're looking over your shoulder. And as you're looking towards your left elbow, can you focus on the right eye? Can you allow the right eye to feel that it's helping you lift? Your right eye is trying to look over your left shoulder. And then come back and rest. And can you let your hands now rest down by your side? So arms resting down by your side. Let them reach down for the bottom of your feet. Can you let your shoulder blades hug your spine? And as your shoulder blades hug your spine, can you lift your arms off the mat and let your head lift, let your face lift, but keep your chin tucked in a little bit. and then come back down. So breathe in as you come up, shoulder blades hug your spine, arms lift. Breathe out as you come back down. And if you feel this in your lower back, slightly tuck your tailbone underneath you so the front of your pelvis touches the mat. Last one. And then push yourself back into child's pose. Come back and rest in child's pose, so toes together, knees apart. Let the sit bones rest on your heels. And if you feel uncomfortable in child's pose, then you can rest on your back. And bring your attention to breathing into the back of your ribs, as if my hands are on the back of your ribs, and you're encouraging that breath to be like a big parachute. Not just opening up at the front of the ribs, but going into the back of the ribs as well. Because we think of our stomachs at the front here, but it also goes into the back of the body, a bit like the liver on the other side. It's quite big and it comes over a little bit, but it goes into the back of the body. So you're encouraging that breath into the back of the body to allow the fascia to help the organs move, to massage the organs. That's nice. And then come and lie on your back. Bend your knees when you get there. And put your hands together and rub your hands. As if you've just been outside for a brisk walk. You might have been outside already. If you've got a dog, you've probably been outside already. You're a brave person, I love you. Although there's no frost this morning, I thought we'd have some frost this morning, but there's none. Unless you went out early, there might be some at 4 o'clock. And then put the palms of your hands over your closed eyes, as if you're creating a seal or a cup over them. So you're not squashing your eyes, you're just allowing the hands to rest there, and the fingertips resting on the forehead, thumbs resting, and just take in the colours that you might see. And if your nervous system is a little bit overworked this morning from everything that's been going on, then you might not be able to see so much darkness. There might be colours and shapes that you're noticing. Can you slow your breath down as you do this, or be aware of your breathing, and allow the eyes are doing. Nice. And just nice to notice that the more you rest here for a moment, the calmer you feel. Noticing the breath. It's a nice way to calm down things. Obviously you won't be able to do this if you were driving. It'll be a bit tricky. Or if you do a lot of meetings on Zoom. Oh, hang on a minute, I was putting my hands over my eyes. I'm still listening. Yeah, it would look a bit weird. Just encourage everybody else to do the same thing for a moment. It would be nice. Okay. And then bring your hands away from the eyes and put one hand just below your collarbone and the other hand at the lower part of your sternum. And just rest your hands there for a moment. And just notice your breath. And let your eyes rest in the back of the sockets. So as if you've got big cushions in the back of your head, let your eyes rest there. Your body feel heavy for a moment. And just allow that breath to feel that it's creating a loving kindness for yourself throughout the whole of your body. Caring for yourself. Not trying to cure anything or fix anything or put anything right, but just caring. And And just placing a few words of loving kindness into your heart. So I'm going to say to you right now, because I wish them to you, and then may you feel, or may you be safe. May you feel, or may you be healthy. May you feel, or may you be happy. And may you feel, or may you live with ease. And just placing those words of loving kindness in your whole body, in your mind, in your heart, in your blood, in your bones. May you feel safe, may you feel happy, may you feel healthy, and may you live with ease. Thought we'd finish with a little bit of loving kindness. I think we all need a little bit of that this morning. Not just this morning, but every morning. And a little bit of homework for you is to allow those words of loving kindness towards somebody that might be driving you a little bit crazy right now. Somebody in your life who's winding you up or not quite seeing your point of view. Not always easy to do, quite a little task for you to do. But wish them well. May they be safe. May they be happy. May they be healthy, and may they live with ease to help calm your response to them, but help them feel that it's okay. It can be quite challenging sometimes because we think that we are the ones that are always right. And the same with this COVID thing. You can't change it. You just accept it and notice it. Notice your response. And then treat yourself with some loving kindness. And there we go. So, thank you for joining me this morning. A little bit of Pilates lying on your front. And I chose the front because it's a very primal thing. When we were born, a lot of us were put on our fronts and we can only strengthen our back and see around the world. We lie on our front. And it's a very good calming position to be in. Helps you focus on your breath and connection to the floor. Strengthening your back, strengthening your shoulders. So tomorrow morning will be Broomsticking Wednesday, but we're doing it at 8 o'clock. Oh my gosh, way too early. So this is going to be a regular thing on Tuesdays throughout lockdown. Yes, Tuesdays at 8:30 we'll be here doing Pilates. A little bit of calming, mindfulness, but Pilates too. So take care, go about your day, knowing that you are in charge. I love you loads. Bye.